Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Court here, coming in hot on a Monday. Barnes, Tony, and as we would say, Michael lurking.
Looming.
How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, dude. Great weekend of sports, obviously. Played some sports as well. And obviously super stoked to talk about it, dude. Rangers, the huge win, dude. Like a decisive, good win.
Rempe,
the first goal. Oh, my God, dude.
Sick.
It really was, dude.
What a time, honestly. And then we were just talking about it with Josh B before the show. May 2nd, looming, Tony.
It really is.
We are so excited about that. And then, both of our baseball teams taking 2 out of 3 this weekend. Not too shabby, eh?
Yeah, some say the Mets couldn't do it, against the Dodgers. But,
yeah, no, you were proven right there. And I think, and again, just like the Rangers, we'll get to it, but it seems like there might be some trouble brewing out there in LA, right? I mean, just in terms of like, maybe this isn't going to be the walk in the park they thought,
Yeah, I mean, it does seem that way. I feel like, again, like injuries to pitchers, Bueller going to be back whenever, Glass now, I think had a good start last week, but still he's been kind of on the fritz a little bit. So I think that those pitching injuries are starting to catch up to them. Because obviously, they didn't necessarily have an issue with scoring. It was really more so giving up those runs, bullpen starters, stuff like that. So they got to figure that out for sure, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll take a deep dive into all of that. But before we get going here, let's start with some comments here from the one, the only
Kev do?
Yeah.
He says, let's go, baby. What a weekend. We want the smoke. Mets win, Knicks win, the Rangers win. What an awesome weekend for New York sports. Oh, I forgot. The Stankies won too. Hashtag TC, hashtag GV, hashtag Sportsport.
Can't wait to see you on a second, brother.
Josh B also says, what's up, fam? Rangers win, Yanks win, Knicks win. More Knicks tonight. Let's fucking go. Hashtag TC, hashtag Sportsport, hashtag DTV. And he reiterates, May 2nd is going to be lit.
Let's go. So before we, Kev getting a kick out of that, but before we get going here, I think we both kind of need to do a, kind of weekend synopsis for you. I guess it really just,
let's do it, dude.
The Sunday situation at Grassy. So if you could kind of walk everybody through, the golf, the tournament, what was it like out there?
Okay, so just for some context here, this was a rugby alumni tournament, you could say. And this was really like the first time anyone's organized something for us in like years, just because of whatever. And the kids did this basically on their own, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's not like this was through the school, whatever.
But the current players did this?
Current players.
Okay.
Yeah, so current players did this. So again, setting up context, college kids try to organize this thing.
Yeah.
They did a good job, I guess, but obviously, there weren't a ton of details given leading up to the day,
Right.
Whatever. So like there was a little bit of a confusion in terms of like tournament play, like how are we playing? Like what types of are you playing skins? People were like, we want to play skins, best ball, whatever. And then also the groupings got totally mixed up. The night before, admittingly, this kid, shout out to Ethan. Ethan was the one who kind of organized it. But again, classic college kid, drunk night before, trying to make the foursomes, on an Excel sheet. Didn't really work out. So we made our own, like we get there running a little late, obviously. But nonetheless, we get into our own foursomes, which is great because I was matched up with Reese, that guy Mark, and then Reese's cousin, which was great. We were the first group out there, which is cool. And obviously, first impressions of the course was honestly, I thought it was really nice. I think it's pretty gorgeous, very hilly. It was a cool morning, but it was cool. The clubhouse people there seemed kind of cool.
Yeah,
nice. And then like, I mean, I've never done this before. Maybe like, I'm sure you have seen this, but like before we get the carts and they were lined up at the first tee, and then there was this guy who worked there and was like checking that everyone paid and was like asking for receipts from everyone.
Okay. Oh, I don't know why that's but yeah, no, it's funny. Usually there they don't, just because there's not really a starter, but
Michael's
I
heavy
think
feet.
on the weekends they have someone doing that. But I don't play there that much, and usually it's in the beginning of the year during the week, so that's why. But yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah,
a lot of courses actually do collect the receipts.
They do,
but it's like such an easy thing. Like you got walkie-talkies and stuff. You don't need a receipt. You're wasting paper.
It was just funny because like I was the first one up. They, oh, you receipt? I was like, I don't have my receipt. And everyone was like, oh wow, like what a jerk. Like, you know, make fun of me, whatever. And then also like he stood there as we teed off, like with his clipboard. He stood at the first tee. And we were the first group, so a little nerve-wracking. Everyone was watching me and everything. But I think my first drive, I mean, it was a little short. Maybe went 200 yards, maybe.
But down the pipe?
But it was like it bled a little right, you know?
Yeah.
But it was on the fairway, so I was down with that, dude. Didn't get as enough height as I wanted to. But nonetheless, I thought, you know, moving forward, the course was great. It took me a little while to get warmed up, I would say. First few holes were sober as well. You know, I didn't drink at all, but you know, of course, you know, light beers and stuff like that. Eventually, the car girl, whatever. But it was dope. I was telling you, you know, I was watching Mark a lot just because he's played so much. He's really good. And I was really practicing like my iron work in my short game. I feel like I had some, like for the first time, I feel like ever, I was like, okay, I can like within 80 yards, I'm like, oh, I can chip this on and at least be on the green, you know, like be confident, like, oh, I'm gonna get this onto the green. And it was good. A couple times, you know, I had a nice like up and down on the ball. A couple times, you know, I definitely topped it, but it ends up rolling up on the green sort of deal, you know. But that was dope. I think like my best iron was probably my 5-iron. I think that was my best club, dude.
I have been absolutely spanking my 5-iron, and like
awesome.
The last couple of years, I was so bad with it.
Yeah,
when I was younger, comfortable club, great. Last couple of years, just couldn't hit it, like topping it. Now, like hitting it probably 220.
Yeah. Honestly. Oh wow, dude, let's fucking go.
Like absolutely.
That's awesome.
Like just a rope.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
That. So that's
yeah, dude, that was great.
That
dude, we again, like our group, we were the first ones. We played from the blues. So like there was, I think,
the tips.
The what?
Isn't the blue like the
that's the longest
tee,
right?
It's
the furthest tee. Yeah. Dude, there was a 610 yard par 5, I think, which was ridiculous. But it was again solid. Front 9, I think I shot a 58. Yeah, I shot a 58 in the front 9 and a 48 in the back 9, which was actually kind of funny. The back 9 was better for me. And that was when I started getting better at my chips. And I feel like, you know, nothing was crazy. I didn't hit a crazy shot at all, but I just feel like the drives were just consistently solid. Like, everything was just consistently okay.
Yeah.
You know, where I didn't have any crazy blow up stuff. I didn't have any major mistakes. There was one time where I hit maybe my 7-iron when I probably shouldn't have. And like the ball like literally hit the green. And then like, yeah, that one skimmed way off of it, dude. Like, yeah.
How did you do on, I think it's number 16, like the really long par 5 on the back?
That really long
before you cross the street?
Yeah. That one I bogeyed. So I did. That was great,
the
dude.
hole's like a mile long.
Literally so long.
And a lot of people lose their ball in that middle area before the it's not really middle, more like 3/4-ish, but before the green. You know, there's like the marsh.
Oh yeah.
People always lose their ball.
No, yeah. Again, by that hole, like I had a good drive off of it, and then again, like my 5-iron down the fairway, I was like slapping it, dude.
So then you hit your shot, 5-iron down the fairway, and then you were close enough from that point to hit it over the marsh.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It actually was pretty funny. There was a few holes had like a creek or a marsh, dude. And I popped it in the creek twice, dude.
Oh shit. On the back, like the first couple holes.
Yeah. There was literally, I looked at this, I'm like, it says like 210 to the creek and then like 175 to the pond. And I'm like, you have to hit it in between. Like, I'm like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah, number 10, but then 11 is the same thing. And that 11 is shorter.
Yeah,
going that way. What about 18? How'd you do on 18? I always suck on that hole.
I bogeyed it.
Probably better than I would have done,
dude. It was like one of those two where, like that the green I thought was crazy because it's like if you like overshoot any shot, you're way off. It's like a big hill.
Did a lot of people hit it left, like in that area that's to the par 3 on the front?
No, thankfully no one did,
Oh,
dude.
okay.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I think everyone was like kind of missing,
So-
right?
So, they were bailing out right. pretty
Yeah,
much,
that
yeah.
18 hole actually was pretty crazy because it is like it's like a dog leg left, I think,
Yes, it's a
right?
dogleg
Yeah, and it's
left, yeah.
very uphill too. That was a good hole. I had a great drive in that hole to end the day, which was just so like again, like just to end the day on like that solid drive. You feel
Oh,
so good
yeah.
about yourself. So yeah, I guess I'm pretty happy with what I shot. Yeah, I guess I would say. I mean, you know, there's definitely a lot of work to be
Is
done.
that your best round or no? Gotta be right
Possibly, it's got to be
there at
around.
least,
Yeah. So
2 other specific hole questions. 'Cause
Yeah.
I could picture all the holes in my head. So on the front, I guess it would be so 1 and then 2, so 3 and then 4, so 5. The long par 5 across along the street.
Oh,
there?
yeah.
How'd you do there?
Double bogey, I think.
That's
Yeah.
another long one. And then how about the par 3
Unbelievable.
after that? People must have had trouble
That
with that
short
hole.
par
Number
3.
6.
Yeah. I had to drop.
Way uphill.
Yeah. Way uphill.
Can't land the ball on the green.
No,
Yeah, I
impossible,
honestly
dude.
probably average a 5.5 on that.
Literally.
6.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
crazy. But it was good, dude. Definitely learned a lot too from like golfing with that guy Mark too. And he was telling me how like it's really and he kept saying it's an easy game, and you know, easy for him. You know, he like worked at a golf course. I forget what course he said, but like 7 years with some golf in Greenwich golf course, whatever.
Yeah.
So obviously
Griff
seasoned
Harris?
guy. I have no idea.
Or probably a private course.
Yeah, I have to ask him.
Yeah.
But he was saying how like the biggest thing you can do to like get better is just to really avoid like those blow up holes, you know? Like having a 9 or an 8 on your score sheet is just so like you just gotta maintain the damage
Josh
control,
Beaton
dude.
knows all about it. Speaking of
Yeah.
which, he says a shot that keeps you coming back.
Love it, dude. It's intoxicating, dude. And honestly, for me too, it was like my first day out there. Second time, or I guess technically third time golfing this season, but first time where there was like the weather was actual usable, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
There was some times where the wind was just like at our faces and it was like tough.
Yeah. No, dude. I feel like it looks like I'm sunburned, but I think my face is like
A little
from
little
windburn.
Yeah, I could see that, dude.
Yeah.
But the rest of the course was great. Again, Mulligan's is their crew downstairs at the bar, which was all right. You know, they were okay. They definitely are not used to big groups coming in and ordering food and stuff. They were definitely a little bit like taken aback by that. But they were nice. We put the Rangers game on at that point. Again, at that point, it was like we caught the end of the first period, like the last few minutes, and watched the rest of the game there, which was dope. And I'm sure we'll get into it, but great day on the course, dude. How about you?
Great day.
Big weekend, dude. Yeah, a couple great
outings.
days.
Really,
dude.
yeah. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Pound Ridge shot 90, which was my best outing
Let's
of the
go,
season.
dude.
Parred 3 out of the first 4 holes. And went 45-45. So good splits really all over the place. Was driving the ball well. And that's a course where you really have to hit longer drives. But it was definitely nice. And it's funny, the greens were all aerated, but it actually probably helped just because it made them slower, having those holes kind of punched out throughout the greens. So that was great. It was nice too, because it was a little cooler. And I had my shorts on, but luckily I was warm enough. But it ended up being, there was some sun that came out. But it was nice too. We were able to kind of go at our leisure, which was great. So enjoyed that. And then what's Josh B say here?
He's calling me out a little bit. He says, sorry, you were golfing during the game, missed the start. Sorry, I definitely not be golfing on playoff game day. I mean, I normally wouldn't either.
Right. I was gonna say you wouldn't. I would.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so yeah. So you basically like if it was like something like, oh, we're just going golfing, you just be like, oh, let's just play another day, like the whole game. But because it was the outing,
this is organized.
You're fine. You're good.
Also, I kind of thought like 10:40, I think 45 is our tee time. So like we all golfed really slow.
What? Like how was it like a 5.5 hour round?
Yeah, no, literally. Probably by the time we actually got there, maybe closer to 11.
Okay, and then what time were you actually like on the 18th green?
On the 18th green, I'm trying to think what time it was. I mean, I think by the 17th hole, puck drop happened. Maybe the 16th hole puck drop happened. So, around 3 something. We would, we golfed for
but
4
11. Oh, okay.
11 o'clock,
so
4
it was
hours.
about 4.5, 5
yeah,
hours.
4 to 5 hours.
Because I'm thinking 10:30, and then it's like you're saying first period's almost over by the time you're in downstairs.
Yeah. Which again, but Josh, I will say, on the car, the group behind us, who was really with us the whole time anyway, speaker in the car.
That gets me kind of tight, honestly. I'm not that tight, but a little tight, just where it's like, I mean, sure, I guess it's not the end of the world, but then again, it's like, can't just play. Like, we need like a boom box in the background. What is this, the live tour?
No, I don't like that either. Dude. I think that's
it,
bullshit.
No reason to do it.
It's one thing if you're doing it again during a tournament, whatever. It's all your boys, but like to do it during the day. But Ranger game was on, so I was able to hear the whole first period, everything.
And it's funny too. I guess like for Yankee playoffs, like I would want to be situated, but it really isn't bad being out in the course streaming the game. Like it's not that bad. I feel like there's a lot of time you're in the cart anyway. So I feel like it's not that bad. And I had to do that in Scottsdale a couple times as well.
I mean, it's not bad, but obviously, like you're not sitting down on a couch like watching the TV. Like you're just not. Even when we watched it at the bar too, I'm like I would rather be watching this like at the house,
Michael. But no, I get it. But I think also too for me was like, it's the first round. Like I wasn't like that stressed going into the game too. So I think as the playoffs go on, it's a little different. But what I was gonna actually get to before I get to the Sunday round, but Saturday with Matt, who's in the building, by the way. He's riled up. A couple comments here, which I'm sure Tony will get to.
Yes, dude.
So we had a great time. Took the train in, got the like the Yankee Clipper, so it was like a 50-minute direct train ride. I think it was like 10:40. We get in at 11:30. The lines were so packed because of the Judge bobblehead, so we didn't go in right away. We could have stayed in line, so we didn't end up getting a bobblehead. But you know how we are; we don't care about the bobbleheads.
Michael's like, I would have liked that for the studio.
Oh my god, no! But it was just like the lines were that long. That was the only reason.
Yeah, that is crazy, dude.
Went in. So we go to Billy's, which I sent you the video. How sick was that video? By the way?
Was dope, dude. Everybody in the background. Oh my god, that was so dope.
So we're at Billy's, like a half hour, so packed, like it was like a World Series game. So then we get into the stadium, and they've done this before in like.
Thanks, Mike.
We've gotten pissed before. But they had a private event before the game. So standing room, even though we didn't have standing seats, we wanted to stand there because our seats were up. We'd rather be closer.
Right.
So it was like roped off, private event. So literally like right before first pitch, they opened the ropes. And I just like went
flooded.
Full speed ahead, dead center again, and got 2 spots for us. A little more to the right, I guess. And then literally was so packed, could not move from that spot the whole game. First time I've ever been in Yankee Stadium. Neither of us got anything, didn't go to the bathroom, literally just stood there for 9 innings.
That's awesome.
It was a quicker game.
Right.
Extra innings, actually, so 10 innings. Obviously disappointing result, all that. But it was a great weather day. The stadium was packed, so it was awesome. Had a really good time. And excited to go back on Wednesday. So really, really looking forward to that. And then after, like I was saying, went to Rigoletto's, got the Brajol, Tony, the Cavatelli Brajol, and then we got the baked clams and calamari appetizer.
So good.
Have your house cab. And then we must have gotten like 6 orders of bread, honestly. Just get hammering the bread, the Earl, as Matthew would say, with the cheese and the pepper. So that was great. Then after that, walk to the bakery, get some cannolis.
Oh my god, dude.
And then take the train back. And that was the whole, Mamaroneck Harrison scenario.
Classic.
And then got back to Stanford, just chilled. And it was a great time. That's for sure. We had a tight NHL game. He won in overtime.
He won?
Yeah.
Oh,
but it was his first time playing NHL, the new one. So that was good. So just a great day. Like I said, tough not getting the win, but obviously, and we'll talk about it, but just nice. The 2 out of 3, another series, you got through it. It's all good. It just was one of those days, unfortunately, you just couldn't hit for whatever reason. You just couldn't hit. Nestor was great. So good to see that as well. And then yes, Sunday yesterday, played Smith Richardson. Definitely a little chilly. Didn't play as well. Got out to a good start, 44 on the front, but faded 53 on the back. So what are you gonna do? But got through the round, had the Rangers, had the Yankees game going as well. And then sat down at Boca and saw the rest of the Rangers game, which was awesome.
Dude, Boca looks awesome.
Yeah, you guys have the route to go there for sure. So yeah, that was great. So overall, yeah, it was just a great weekend. And I love our weekend synopsises, Tony. And before we move on here, a couple comments from Matthew.
A ton of comments, dude. He says Barnes was like a fullback wrecking ball to that spot. I saw him sprint right there. I just followed him like a running back.
Would you expect any less, Tony?
I could literally imagine it right now, dude.
Bull in
the China closet, dude. And he says, go to Patsy's, linguine and clams, Tony. Hammered the bread and the Earl have your pastries. He said, this is the train to Mamaroneck. That is so freaking funny. He says he forgot about that Shell game. Says you beat him in the Derby, though. Solid Derby. What a weekend. He says, huge W for the blue shirts. Let's go. And he says, have your fucking synopsis.
Yeah, he's jacked up for
clearly.
Sure.
Let's go, baby.
And you know who else is jacked up is Scottie Scheffler, Tony. He wins his, I think now, isn't it? It's fourth event in 5 starts.
Yes,
right?
4th and 5.
Because let's think back here. It's the Players, and then it was the
Arnold Palmer
Masters and the Arnold Palmer, and
yeah.
then here we are, winning the RBC Heritage here. 19 under par. Actually finished this morning because there was a weather delay yesterday,
which is kind of crazy.
But he wins 3 shots clear of Sahith Theegala. Look at his week, 69, 65, and then that 63 on Saturday, really cementing him. Finished with 68. So 3 shots clear of Sahith Theegala. Unbelievable. I know Riley somewhere is tight, but
he is so tight, dude.
Listen, I mean, respect greatness. And it's honestly a treat to watch Scottie Scheffler right now.
I mean, I feel like this is kind of getting ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
we haven't seen anything like this. I why don't you look it up? Actually, the last time somebody had 4 wins in 5 starts on the PGA Tour. And also, congratulations, Nelly Korda on the LPGA Tour had just had her 5th straight victory yesterday, the first women's major of the season. That's unbelievable, 5 straight victories. The only thing I can think of that tops that is Tiger, back in 2007, I believe, had 7 straight. And speaking of which, Woods was the last male golfer to win 4 times in 5 starts, 2007, 2008. So, but 7 straight. Could you imagine a 7, Tony?
7 straight is ridiculous. No, I can't imagine that.
Like, I think of all sports, even like saying like winning all these championships in a row, just because of tournament, there's so many other players, there's so many things that go. Like, I feel like that's the hardest feat that there is. 7 wins.
7, dude.
Wins. Like, I feel like golf wins with over 100 people you're going against.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
It really is crazy.
I think going into this year, we kind of felt that other golfers, other than Scottie, for the remaining 3 majors are gonna, win them. But now, do you feel like after seeing this, it's like almost like he's a lock for one more, or is it like he's had this now, so it's like just law of averages wise now, like he's due? There could be a couple months where he doesn't win, or you think he's just so dialed that he's gonna at least win one more major this year?
I mean, again, I
know it goes against your predictions, but
yeah, it does. I mean, you would imagine though he does at this point. Again, you kind of maybe thought he would have taken a little bit of a step back. We were saying we probably wouldn't even see him with the baby. Maybe the birth would happen. Obviously, it didn't. But I mean, how could you? He won by 3 strokes too, and I know it's like, all right, like I guess the pool of players isn't crazy, but still, I mean, he still went out there. What, he shoot a 63 in round 3,
Saturday,
right? On Saturday, unbelievable score. I think that was the tournament low. So I mean, again, like dialed, he's even more dialed and he honestly, like, because I saw his interview afterwards, this morning, and it's like he's just like chill, you know, like he's whatever,
Heineken Zero,
literally, dude. Like the shoulders seem so calm, so how do you not say that? Like he seems like he's gonna keep winning.
Yeah, Yeah.
It's honestly ridiculous.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see when his next start is. He's not in the field for this week's Zurich Classic, which I believe is still a team event, but that's at TPC Louisiana. Click on that. Let's see. Overview, maybe go to overview. Huh.
Is there like a format?
Maybe just Google search Zurich Classic of New Orleans. It's kind of interesting doing it in a 2-man, and like go to week.
Well, I guess it is right. Like Shane Lowry, Roy McIlroy team up for the first time at TPC Louisiana.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It is a 2-man.
Yeah,
that's
kinda
pretty cool.
Like, cool, but at the same time, I don't know. You know, it's like kind of weird in a way too.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it is. Oh, Davis Riley and Nick Hardy won.
Oh, there we go.
Okay,
there we
yeah,
go.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
I see what's going on.
But there are some. I think Xander's playing, so there'll be some golfers there. But yeah, Scottie not in the field, and obviously, I mean, geez, I mean, I don't think he will do this, but I mean, it's hard to blame him if he just, sat out, till the PGA. But I think what he'll do, I think it's the 9th to the 12th, is the Wells Fargo, which is a signature event at Quail Hollow, where they're going to have the PGA in a couple years, and they've had a President's Cup before. So I think that's probably what he'll do. Because there is the Byron Nelson next week, which is in Texas. Obviously, he's a Texas native, but it's not a signature event. So you would think he would want some time off after this. I mean,
you would think
winning
so,
2 tournaments in a row, one of them being the Masters back to, I mean, that's got, and then the baby too.
Yeah, like, what the hell? Where is this baby, by the way? Is this a fake baby?
No.
Was it just a bullshit storyline? No, but
I know it's tough. I know sometimes you think you have a handle on that, and then you just, I mean, what else could you say? You don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting how Riley has that take, but I don't mind this at all. I really any sport we're talking about, I love like seeing like just dominance. Like I think it's just so, because if you think about it too, like I don't know, I just feel like in all sports now there's more parity than ever. Or no?
Oh yeah,
there's no dynasties. I mean, obviously, yes, you have the Chiefs, of course. But like you think about baseball, for instance, it's been forever since we've had back-to-back champs.
Oh yeah.
Basketball, there's been some of that.
I guess NHL had the Lightning.
Yeah,
a little bit.
But other than that, right? I mean, nobody won back-to-back recently, right?
I guess the Penguins did it in maybe 15, 16.
But that was 2 straight ships. I thought it was like 2 out of 3 years, though. Go look up Sullivan's career.
Sullivan.
Do this. No, Mike Sullivan. Do this. Do that.
Stanley Cups.
And just go to his Wikipedia page. I'll just.
I would have thought it would just pop right
down.
up.
If you just go down.
Keep going down. Keep going
down.
down.
Keep going down.
Keep going down.
Oh. And yes, back to back. You're right.
Back,
okay,
yeah.
So yeah, I guess there's been some of that, but still, I just think like there was more, back in the day.
Oh, definitely, dude.
So yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, like I said, Thigala a solo second. Yeah, Wyndham Clark and Patrick Cantlay tied for 3rd at 15 under. So good for them to kind of revert to form. How about JT reverting to form here? Sure, he's happy with the top 5. Obviously, it's been a tough couple of years for Justin Thomas.
Yes.
We'll see if this could propel him. You also had Colin Morikawa, so back-to-back weeks with top 10s. A 9th place finish here. The Postman, JT Poston, tied for 5th as well. Tony Finau tied for 12th. Brian Harmon tied for 12th. Ricky Fowler tied for 18th. Ashke Bahadia tied for 18th as well. Xander Schauffele tied for 18th, as well as Tom Kim. So a lot of the top golfers were near the top of the leaderboard here, which is great to see. Hopefully this week at the Zurich Classic, we'll get some good golf, and obviously we'll preview that Wednesday. Also, I don't know if you saw, but the alternate event, I think it was his first win in more than 2 years. Billy Horschel.
Oh, wow.
The Corrales Punta Cana
Did
Championship.
Not see that.
So he was 23 under par.
Wow.
So shooting a final round 63 to cement it, 2 shots clear of Wesley Bryan, and it was his first alternate event in quite some time. Because he's typically on like he would make the signature event, but he hasn't played well recently. But I'm gonna look up his PGA Tour page. Okay, 8 career wins. And let's see. So this was his first win since the 2022 Memorial Tournament. So 2 years.
Wow. Okay, cool. Good for him. Because I remember like you mentioning his name Even last season. And again, I feel like he was in the field
Yeah.
a little bit, you know. But nice to see him get that dub. 23 under. Wow, dude.
Yeah,
Must have been an easy course.
Yeah, it is. And 300 FedEx points instead of like 500, what you usually get. And actually kind of curious what the purse was here. But this win, though, it's nice. That's why he's saying, alternate events, like why even do them, it doesn't matter. But that gets him into the next elevated event, which will come, like I said, at Quail Hollow for the Wells Fargo. So otherwise, he wouldn't have qualified for that. So it's good that these guys, who aren't always necessarily, having the best seasons, having the best couple years, that it gives them a chance to get back in the mix.
How old is Billy?
If I had to guess, you can look it up, but I'm gonna say 35. If I had to guess.
You were just looking at his PGA page, though.
No, I honestly do not have it.
37.
Okay, so in the neighborhood, that shows. I think that shows some honesty here. Honestly.
Yes. No, I think so.
Let's see. Why is it?
Also, dude, by the way, the Grassy Hill fucking golf course. I don't know if they were like trying to be like Augusta or something, but I had no service the entire day I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have Verizon?
Yeah.
Swear, I thought they're the #1 network, right?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
But don't they all say that?
Nah, no, it's just it's funny though because I've played there a bunch. I've never had a service problem, so that's
okay,
and I have
interesting.
AT&T, so that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Verizon. By the way, this alternate event, 720,000 Billy Horschel wins, and just to give you a sense here, I believe this. I'm going to double check this, but I believe Scottie. I thought it was 3.6. I just want to double check this.
3.6, the purse or the win?
3.6. Oh,
what?
Oh, that was last year. What is? Let me just see this for a second. So, I think that's what it is, though. Let's see. But the point I was trying to make is like just that the payout is like less than a third for these alternate events. But I mean, it's if you don't perform, you don't win anything. So to win, even though 720,000 for them, it doesn't sound like much. It's still, a decent payday. Yeah, it was 3.6 million, by the way. So that's golf.
Yeah, that is golf, dude. Scottie's probably won like easily 15 million this season, right?
Let's see.
I want to say with all those winnings.
And that's why he's
taking the week off.
Well,
yeah.
But I was gonna say that's why he doesn't need to go to the Live Tour. It's like,
oh yeah, plays well, he wins.
Yeah, he doesn't have to deal with like the backlash, and depressing tournaments. It's like I could see why it's like, but people are like, oh, I want to be a partial owner of a sports team. I want to go to Live so I can get a couple $100 million. Tough. I mean, in all honesty, not for the cameras, Tony. Like, what do you think you would do?
If Liv offered me
and you were Scottie,
a huge contract,
and it was $500 million.
For how long?
5 years.
It's a lot of money, dude. I don't
know.
So
basically, yeah.
I mean, got a kid on the way. Need to pay for college.
Kid on the way.
No. I mean, I don't know, man. If I was Scottie, though, you're such a prick at that point, though.
Yeah. And he's made $57 million so far.
Career earnings. Yeah.
But I mean, you just
dude, $500 million for 5 years. Like, you're set for life at that point. You could literally not have to worry about anything ever again.
But don't you not have to worry about anything at 57 or no?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you basically don't.
Living outside of your means.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably just place wherever you place. For the rest of your career, it doesn't really matter. You're getting something. Yeah, true.
Josh B even says he can't say no to that.
Really?
Yeah.
Josh B's a sellout. I think at the end of the day, I probably wouldn't do it though, because again, like Scottie, I mean, I feel like they do this often. I mean, they obviously did this with Rory too, where they put this player on the pedestal of better than Liv, above what those golfers do. So again, if that were to be announced, your legacy is kaput, dude. Almost people are going to disregard you, dude.
Same scenario as Scottie right now. You're Scottie Scheffler, all of his accolades, all of his ability. You're turning down the 500.
Probably, yeah.
Really?
Honestly, dude. Because then again, how much more badass does that make me too as a golfer if I turn that down?
Dude, it's sick, honestly. Yeah. But I have to say, I don't know.
You think you would take the money?
It would be so hard not to, but I do
Right.
I do, I do care about like
Right.
historical significance,
Yes.
legacy, and stuff.
Yes, dude.
So
And then I don't know, like if this whole merger ends up happening and they're able to play,
then you don't have to have this negative thing you're avoiding.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
If the merger does happen, you would think the payouts should go up.
Exactly, dude. And honestly, like like those golfers who are coming back to the PGA, like people are gonna be fucking ragging on them so much, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
See, Josh B says 500 million, the biggest sellout in the world.
It's tough that it has to be like that. Though,
I know, dude. It's so annoying.
Guess it is what it is.
That is a lot of money, 500 million.
But that being said, let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Skip! And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
I'm glad I just saw this because I did hear. I was listening to PGA Tour radio in the car this morning. So I want to give a special shout out here. Miles Russell, 15 years old, tied for 20th on a Korn Ferry Tour event over the weekend. I mean, that's insane. 15 years old.
Kind of ridiculous, yeah.
And he's going to get to play in future events here. So he's the reigning Junior Golf Association Player of the Year, 5 under 66 on Sunday. And he won't pocket any money for the finish, but he did qualify for next week's Korn Ferry event, the Vertex Bank Championship in Texas. Unbelievable. I mean, you would think, this guy's got to have a bright future ahead.
Jacksonville Beach native here.
Could you imagine, Tony?
Yeah.
And then what if it was 500 million from Live if you were 15?
Well, obviously I'm taking that then. Yes. If I'm 15 years old.
Jeremy
Schaaf, 15 years old, 500 million. Let's go, dude. Yeah. Youngest player to make the cut on Korn Ferry since breaking the previous record set by Dipper Finau.
And you know what's interesting? Tony Finau is from Utah. So you would think that's his brother.
Interesting. Yeah, his brother.
Does he play still?
I guess not.
Go to his player page here. Let's see what results. Go to results. Oh, he hasn't played. So he probably retired.
Yeah.
But yeah. So just wanted to mention that.
That's pretty dope.
Anyhow, Tony. Like I said, over the weekend, both the Yankees and the Mets winning their series, which is great. Starting with Friday night, which was really an awesome game, and one where it was tight, and as the game went on, Yankees broke through to beat the Rays in this opening game 5-3. And who else at the forefront of it than Juan Soto? A huge home run, but just to kind of set the table here, you had Clark Schmidt versus Tyler Alexander. Schmidt went 5 1/3, 7 hits, only 1 earned run, no walks, struck out 7. The one mistake, a home run to Peliosis. And we had a scoreless game through 5 innings, and then that 6th inning, Peliosis hits the home run, gives them a 1-0 lead. Yankees go to Santana out of the pen. He pitches an inning and 2/3 scoreless. And they also get all of their runs in this game in the 7th inning. Starts out on an error when Oswaldo Cabrera hit a ground ball to first. So that scored Alex Verdugo. Then Volpe singles in a run to make it 2-1. And that's when Soto stepped to the plate here. Homer to right, 409 feet, upper deck, Tony. Really sending Yankee Stadium into hysteria. It was so loud, such a bomb, and really just won the game pretty much for the Yankees. Because after that, Ian Hamilton was a little spotty, gave up a couple of runs, but then Clay comes on for the 9th, and that got a little hairy. And I don't know if you saw this. It was like, and I was watching it because I didn't have the volume on, but basically. So there was runners on first and second. I don't know if you saw this, but there was a shallow hit pop-up to center, And it was one of those things, Glaber going out, Judge coming in. Last second, Judge goes to dive for it. And like the runners are assuming he's going to catch it. He drops it, throws it to third, gets the out at third. But then, I don't know, there was some controversy about it or whatever. And then, Rays had runners on. They're threatening. It was tight. And then they end the game on a double play. Anthony Volpe, doubling off Jose Siri on a line drive off second base to end the game. So it was just really exciting, really exhilarating. And it really was a playoff, atmosphere at the stadium. 36,000 in attendance for this one. So it was good to get off on the right foot. And unfortunately, Saturday ended up being the wrong foot. And really was just an insane game to be at. I mean, just talk about a pitcher duel, a scoreless draw through 9 innings, Tony.
Yeah.
Seeing him in person, I mean, he looked great, honestly. Really was dealing early. Just unfortunately, the offense just could not back him up. But if you look at his line, I mean, I think arguably was his best start of the year here. 7 scoreless innings, 6 hits allowed, 9 strikeouts, no walks. So that's, of course, what you want to see out of Nestor. Luke Weaver came in for an inning after him. Clay, pitched the the top of the 9th. But unfortunately, the 10th, after really all game, Yankees had opportunities, just could not score. Caleb Ferguson runs into some trouble, and all started with there was a fly ball. And actually, Alex Verdugo was playing center because of some late game substitutions. He doesn't usually play center. So there was a ball hit in between him and Juan Soto. I think they both didn't go all out for it. And obviously, extra innings, goes on second. So they end up scoring a run because the ball falls in between them. Soto just missing the catch. And then the Yankees, couldn't get anything going in the bottom half of the inning. And just got shut out 2-0 in this game. Only 4 total hits, 9 strikeouts, 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. And unfortunately, Aaron Judge 0 for 4, the golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts. So obviously really struggling. Juan Soto, 2 of the 4 Yankee hits. So it was one of those games, definitely left you with a bad taste in your mouth. And I even said to Matt after the game, like, this is tough, but we know it's a long season. The whole thing is tomorrow you go win the series, and then it's on from there. We can't dwell on it. And sure enough, they take care of business here. And Luis Gil, Tony, dominant yesterday. And it was nice to finally see him somewhat, have his control, have his location under control here. 5 2/3, 2 hits, 1 unearned run, 3 walks, but 9 strikeouts. So really having these race hitters, off balance. And the offense was there for the Yankees, which was nice after getting shut out the previous night. Rizzo RBI single in the first, and then Gil, the only run allowed was on a balk, which is kind of interesting. Wow. So that tied the game in the third. But then the 5th inning, the Yankees get a 2 runs on an Alex Verdugo single. Also, Jose Trevino with a single himself, scoring Gleyber Torres, and then Oswaldo Cabrera a single to center. That made the game 5-1. They did run into some trouble with Dennis Santana in the 8th inning, giving up 3 runs, and there were some fielding mishaps. But fortunately, Victor Gonzalez works around a 2-out walk in the 9th to get a second save of the season. Yankees win 5-4. Win another series here, move to 15-7 on the season. And now starting in actually just over 2 hours from now will be a 105 game against the Oakland A's, 4 games against the A's. So, it's a spot where you look for Judge to get going. Was 1 for 4 yesterday, but another 2 strikeouts, hitting 183. It's nice to see Alex Verdugo has really been hitting. Most of the year his average has been well under 200, now up to 260 after a 3 for 4 spot yesterday. Oswaldo Cabrera has been hot all season. He's hitting 303 after a 2 for 4 performance yesterday as well. So it's a good spot to be in. And you're waiting for other guys to get going. And obviously, of course, until we actually see it, there's going to be some concern about Judge. I don't have any still, as bad as it's looked. I just know it's a long season. It's crazy to think about, but I want to say it's probably maybe 5 or 6 years before David Ortiz retired. He did not hit a home run for the first, I think, 6 weeks of the season.
Wow.
And then you fast forward 6 years later, last year of his career, 40 years old, hits
Mhm.
40 home runs and hits 330. Point I'm just trying to make is, no matter how bad and how good somebody is, like we've seen Derek Jeter go through slumps, in all the the Yankee greats from the 90s, all these guys, they always find a way out of it. So
Right.
it's like, what, as bad as it looks for Aaron Judge right now, he's going to be okay. But I think this A's series, couldn't have came at a better time, because you want to see him get going. You want to see Rizzo get going. You want to see Stanton get going, as well as like Austin Wells. And Glaber too, who fouled a pitch off of his foot, stayed in the game, but it was like one of those where you directly right into the shin.
Oh.
Yeah, killed. He was hopping around.
Goodness.
He's been struggling. So I think at the end of the day, the fact that your best hitter's not hitting, Tony, and other guys aren't hitting, you're 15-7. I mean, not much to be upset about here.
No, not at all, dude. And it is pretty funny, because I feel like
Oh, it's funny, huh?
well, I'm just saying it's funny because I'm hearing people call into like ESPN radio or people on Twitter like, "Oh, Judge is bad. This is not good. Whatever." And at the end of the day, like you are, you're 14-7, right? 15-7, dude. You guys have been hitting really well. Your pitchers, like you said, like Cortez has had his best start of the season easily. And honestly, you could argue within the last probably almost 2 seasons, arguably, his better starts. So, I mean, your bullpen for the most part is doing well, except for maybe Ferguson. I don't know how you feel about Ferguson, but every time I see him, again, like he gave up the runs when in the home opener, and I think he gave up a couple more runs against Toronto the next series,
like 7,
and then now
people are talking about they're not using him right or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think but like I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing is take him out of the higher leverage situation.
Yeah, I don't think he can handle it, dude.
Victor Gonzalez is left-handed as well, so he can handle those higher leverage scenarios. So and like I said, I love that we're playing 4 straight against the A's, because I come on, don't when you like it's like pretty much a certainty. Like if Jay's watching, because we know he likes his prop bets. Judge to homer. I mean, why not just try it every game in this series?
Literally, why not?
He hasn't hit one in a little bit. It's the A's. I mean, win in Rome, no?
Oh yeah,
win in England,
right? Yeah, and win in London. I mean, you could argue really plays any prop bet for any Yankee at home run at that point, dude.
Yeah,
like honestly,
this should be a sweep. So at the end of the day, Tony, I'm excited. I'm glad that we found a way to win yesterday. And while it was tough being there on Saturday, getting shut out, it's just a microcosm of a long season.
Yeah.
In fact, too, Rodon, I like that he gets to start
fired up.
Gives him an opportunity to have like a double-digit strikeout game potentially.
Yeah.
You're going up against JP Sears. You know him. He was in your organization. So I think there's a lot of reasons right now to feel pretty comfortable here. So looking forward to the game this afternoon.
Yeah. And it is pretty dope too. I feel like I think the Yankees as a team had double-digit strikeouts all weekend, right? There was 14 team strikeouts by the Rays on Saturday. I think 12 on Sunday. And I want to say Friday they probably had like a 10 or 11.
Yeah. So I mean, sure. I mean, there's times where the bullpen doesn't get the job done, but for the most part, between the bullpen and the starters, I mean, pitching has been good.
Yeah.
And they've gotten big outs when they've needed to. Clay still with a 0 ERA. And before we do the Mets synopsis, just want to read off the lineup for today. So we got Volpe leading off, Soto batting second, Judge third, Stanton fourth, Rizzo fifth, Torres sixth, Verdugo seventh, Trevino eighth, and Oswaldo Cabrera ninth. And I love too. I mean, I know it's kind of tough because obviously when guys are doing well, you want them to have the most opportunities as possible. But at the same time, do you kind of like spacing your lineup out a little bit where maybe you don't have your worst hitter batting ninth so that it's like it gives you balance? I mean, do you think that makes any sense that they're batting him ninth instead of having like, Trevino bat ninth or somebody else? Or what do you think?
I don't know, dude.
Because it's like a second leadoff hitter. I'm sure you've heard that before.
Yeah, no, I never heard the phrase. I don't know. I feel like I as a manager, I would top load my lineup.
Yeah.
I would load them up all to the top.
But I know I like the general thing. It's like you want the best guys to get the most at bats.
Right.
But I do think there's something to it's like, well, now we don't have to worry about we're completely screwed if we have runners on with 2 outs in the 9th spots coming up. That you know what I mean? That we actually have a chance to like driving some runs. Plus, like I said, like the extension there at the bottom, second leadoff hitter, Burr gets on. Well, now there's runners on for Volpe, and then Soto's up, then Judge. You know what I mean? It like kind of extends.
And it also may also force a manager to go into his bullpen earlier on, rather than all like
wait till the top.
Yeah. So I guess I could see that. But again, why not just have all stars, 1 through 9? How about that?
I mean,
everybody hits.
At one time, we did have that. And just to give you an idea what the Yankees will be facing, the A's lineup here: Ruiz, Nevin, Rooker, Langoliers, Toro, Geloff, Noda, Allen, and Schumann, Tony. And their cleanup hitter, Shade, Langoliers. So you probably know because there's not that many catchers hitting a robust 180, but I believe leading the team or tied for the lead with 4 home runs in the early going. So let's go. Nothing to mess around with here.
No.
And I'm guessing, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing because I don't remember there ever being a Yankee game at 1 o'clock on a Monday, but I'm guessing it's because of Passover.
Yeah,
I
would
Passover
think so.
Eve. I can't think of why else, especially the A's had to make the trip to New York. I mean, it just seems like a quick turnaround. For them.
I mean, I guess Passover does start today, so I guess sundown, right? No one can be doing much.
And also too for them, I guess I had to look at their schedule. But it's like, why you would think normally this 1 o'clock game would be on Thursday since it's a 4-game set.
Right.
They're gonna have to fly back. And I'm just gonna.
And did they play yesterday?
They played at the Guardians.
Okay.
So Cleveland to New York. I mean, obviously you had a day game.
A little better.
And they are gonna go to Baltimore for a Friday night game. After the Thursday game, but still, I mean, that's wearing the west to east coast trip here. But like I said, I think it's because of Passover is why they
definitely
did that.
why.
Tickets are still pretty high. I don't know if it's like more like not high, but I'm saying higher than you would expect for a 1 o'clock weekday game. But I think it's because people are off too. Maybe is that why? Passover, some of the people
are people off.
I'm saying maybe, like
maybe,
right.
Maybe,
that's the only thing I can think of is why because against the A's, like that should say $2.
True.
For a 1 o'clock Monday game.
Maybe they're thinking like, oh, it's going to be a great offensive game for the Yankees. Want to charge more ticket prices?
I'm so riled up to go on Wednesday.
That's
great
awesome,
seats
dude.
Too.
Who's pitching Wednesday? Not sure.
Let's see. So if it's Rodon, please don't be Clark.
It is Clark.
Against Boyle. But again, Tony, an opportunity for Clark, settle the lineup down, maybe pitch 6 innings.
Yeah.
That could be a revelation. I don't know. Do you think I'm hating on him too much, honestly, or no?
No, I guess not. I guess not,
him,
dude.
But I just I don't know. Like it's trying to think of a parallel for you.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like he just hasn't been consistently good. Again, you see bright spots.
Yeah.
So it's like you're almost getting like a look at what could be.
Right.
But it really never is gonna be, it seems.
But I don't know. Like, would you, if he was just like out there and you didn't like need to give up anything for him, like, would you be like somewhat like excited to have him or not really?
I mean, I guess if we got him for nothing.
Like, I just have a tough time because it's still so early. I don't know if he's better than Severino or not. What do you think?
I think right now I would pick Sevy, honestly.
Right now. In the back of your mind, you're thinking, is the 70 ERA over the next 4 starts coming?
Right.
But yeah, I know right now I agree with you. So, but let's see. I mean, his start over the weekend wasn't terrible. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. Your mother says good morning, and she's here just in time for the Mets segment, which is, I think, good timing.
And she says, oh my God, the Mets.
The Mets.
The Mets. Obviously, she's probably alluding to yesterday's game. It's probably recency bias,
right.
the 10-0 loss.
Sure, 2 out of 3 is great. You would have signed up for it going in.
Obviously, would have signed up for it. We talked about it on Friday, obviously. And Domac laughed at the fact, and I think you snickered a little bit as well, dude. A little snicker at the fact that they would even take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. And that's what they did. They started off pretty hot on Friday, winning 9-4. Excuse me. Sean Manaea had the start. Again, never going 6 innings, had 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks. So I would say, look, again, navigating the Dodgers lineup pretty solid, I would guess. Obviously the Mets in terms of their offense is really what won here. And just to set the table, the Mets actually, I feel like for the first time in a little while here, they scored first. Top of the second, you had DJ Stewart, who hit a dinger. I want to say it's his 4th home run of the season. I'd have to double check that, which I'm doing right now. It was his third home run of this season. And I mean, what a guy. Again, we talked about him a lot, earning that DH spot, to start the scoring off hot for the Mets here with a solo shot. I think that started, getting things going for players like Harrison Bader, actually, who ended up, getting an RBI single that same inning, who's been absolutely just phenomenal all around. On Friday, he ended up going 4 for 5 with 1 RBI, striking out only once. A batting average now up to 333, Brian.
Are you shocked?
I am shocked. I definitely did not think about this
Looked
much.
Horrible.
Literally, last year, horrible, dude.
Yeah.
Did not expect this amount of production from him. And honestly, it seems like he's a big clubhouse guy right now. I feel like everybody on the team loves him. He always brings a lot of energy, it seems, too. So you love that. And again, it shows in the field. Speaking of showing on the field, top of the third now, Alonso, RBI single. Marte and Nimmo were both on base here. Marte would move up to third. Nimmo scores. Right after that, DJ Stewart, wouldn't you know, sack fly RBI, brought in Marte, who was at third base, bring the Mets to 4-0 just like that. And you're thinking, wow, like this is a solid looking team here. Yamamoto getting into some trouble here, giving him a lot of hits early on. It just seemed like the Mets did a great job at just recognizing pitches and getting that bat to the ball. But bottom of the fourth here, is where Manaea gets into a little bit of trouble. Teoscar Hernandez, RBI single, scores Ohtani. Hernandez actually, I guess Teoscar Hernandez second. That can't be right. Somebody else was on first. Nonetheless, bottom of the 5th here, again, Ohtani up. Manaea hittable, gets an RBI single there. And then at that point, they do pull Manaea, which I guess is kind of smart. But they bring in Reed Garrett, who gives up 2 runs. Unearned.
What was the error?
I believe the error was, I want to say it was a Nimmo throw from left field, just wild. Airmailed it. Yeah, dude. If I remember correctly. But watching this game, actually at the Horseshoe at this point. So I was getting pretty riled, honestly. Because at this point, the Dodgers come back. It's 4-4. We go top of the 7th, Francisco Lindor with the man on. That is Marte. Absolutely ropes one 396 feet to right field, dude.
Signs of life
from Lindor. All of a sudden you're tied at 4. Now you're up by 2. And then again, I mean, it just seemed like the Mets got to their bullpen. Because then Kelly, you saw, get into a little bit of trouble. In the 8th, gives up a couple of hits to Bader, McNeil, and Nimmo, and then Marte RBI single scores Bader and McNeil. Nimmo ends up getting thrown out at third here to end the inning there. But nonetheless, I mean, the damage was done. You're up 8-4 now at this point, and then top of the 9th. Again, Mets just pile it on, dude. DJ Stewart with another hit here, another RBI, a stand-up double to right field, scoring Lindor. And then you had Diekman come in for the 9th to close it out. And it was great, dude. I mean, I feel like your bullpen did a solid job. Again, Reed Garrett, who came in to relieve Manaea. Again, he's one of those bullpen guys who get hit a lot. Honestly, I don't have a ton of confidence in him. But Brooks Raley comes in for 2 outs. He did a solid job. They give him 1 hit. Ottavino actually ends up coming into that inning to get the final out, gets a strikeout there, and then pitches another inning of his own. And then, like I said, Diekman coming out in the 9th, walks the leadoff batter, strikes out 2, and then walks the next guy, and then a fly out, I think, to Bader to end the game.
You're a little tight on him.
I mean, it's just like a little bit, whoa, like pump the brakes, the control. Maybe you're jacked up, LA, a lot of people there. You're not used to it. Nonetheless, huge win for Friday there. And then now moving forward to Saturday, which was another win here as the Mets won 6-4 against the Dodgers. And you had Jose Butto coming off a hot start against the Braves, 6 innings, 9 Ks. Unfortunately, could not necessarily follow it up here. Only pitches 4 1/3 innings, gave up 5 walks, dude. So really just had no control through 95 pitches over those 4 1/3 innings. Again, just I don't know what it was, dude. If he just couldn't settle down, if it was just the West Coast trip, I don't know what it was. But nonetheless, the Mets, again, for the first time in a while, getting on the board first. Lindor hits into a ground rule double, but does score a Nimmo in the first inning. Gets the Mets up 1-0. But obviously, bottom of the first, I mentioned Butto struggles early and often, giving up a lot of hits to Betts, Ohtani, Freeman at the plate. Ropes a single to center field, scoring Betts and moving up Ohtani to second. But that made it 1-1. Now, top of the fourth here, Marte with Wendell and Nimmo on. Singles to center on his own RBI single, scores Wendell, I feel like has been doing pretty solid.
Way better than you thought.
Way better than I thought. Again, like a couple clutch pinch hits to start the season. Brett Beatty is dealing with a little bit of a hamstring strain. So he didn't start, Wendell gets to start at third, strings together some good hits here. I kind of like what I'm seeing from him. Bottom of the fifth, though, Muncy sac fly RBI to score Ohtani. And then top of the sixth, Marte, a homer of his own, 432 feet. And that Zach Short and Brendan were both on. So that made it 5-2 right there. Bottom of the sixth, Freeman tries to tie it up. Just gets an RBI single, though. I think... Actually, yeah, 2 RBI. Oh, this was a 2 RBI single, makes it 5-4. And then Lindor, top of the eighth, a little insurance run, RBI single to left to score Marte yet again. Marte that day went 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and the home run. You love to see that. Lindor 2 for 5 of his own with 2 ribbies. And then you had, Diaz come in, gets 3 outs actually in the eighth. And then, they don't use him for the ninth, bring in Reed Garrett on the back-to-back days. And he kind of, puts 3 up, 3 down. Getting 3 strikeouts. So he looked a lot cleaner on Saturday rather than Friday. It seemed like he really honestly stepped up in that high leverage situation, which was great to see there. 4 for 14 with runners in scoring position for the Mets. So you want to see some more from that. But only struck out 4 times as a team. That's a season low, Brian. So again, piggybacking off of Friday, they've been seeing these pitches a lot better. Their pitch recognition has been really good. Not just staring at pitches down the pipe, not knowing what's going on. Moving on to Sunday, though, is where really everything kind of blew up, dude. The Mets lost 10-0 on Sunday. That's right. That's what you heard, Brian. 10-0. Hauser gets to start there. 4 innings pitched, only 3 Ks, 4 walks, 8 earned runs off of 7 hits. And I mean, it was just early and often for the Dodgers there. Again, now a game here where you go back to the Mets not scoring first. Not only did they not score first, they didn't score at all, Brian. Ohtani homers in the third. It was a 2-run homer, put up 2-0. Mookie Betts, RBI single at this point. We have Grant Hartwig in the game, who gives up 2 runs of his own. A Betts single, which scores Lux and I forget who else, but then Freddie Freeman, the RBI double. It was just raining and pouring in Dodger Stadium, which was bound to happen, I suppose. Again, I talked about Saturday, season low, 4 Ks as a team. Sunday, they struck out 10 times as a team. Only getting 7 hits, and like I said, scoring no runs. 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position, 5 men left on. But again, you think 7 hits, only 4 times were runners in scoring position, so the Mets just did not even string along hits together. It was 1 hit here, 1 hit there. In the next inning, lots of strikeouts, and they just really couldn't get past Glasnow, who pitched a season-high 8 innings, gave up 7 hits, but had 10 Ks, no earned runs, no walks as well. 101 pitches. That is a phenomenal start from Tyler Glasnow. And I think that is the one thing the Mets are missing. And obviously, the Dodgers really exaggerated, I think, that flaw in the Mets team, whereas they don't have a deep starting rotation. And a lot of their starters don't go the distance. So the bullpen gets used up a lot, which is why you're seeing, some no names coming from the bullpen in the third game of the series. It just seems like the Mets depth seems to be an issue. And of course, Saturday, I mentioned before, Alvarez gets the DH spot, Narvaez at the catching position start. I was like, this is kind of weird, whatever. All of a sudden, UCL strain right in your thumb or whatever it is, whatever
Torn
torn ligament
yeah.
of whatever ligament it is. Surgery, 6 to 8 weeks minimum for Alvarez. That's a pretty huge blow, I think, to the team. Morale, offense, defense, all around.
They do
dude.
a platoon with Nito and
Narvaez is going to have to, which is really tough. And again, he wasn't playing Sunday, no offense. Everybody was cold.
But I guess I just saw
dude.
an article. JD Martinez Friday. You're talking.
I mean, again, I would love to see it.
Yeah. But just see what happens, dude. I mean, at this point, right? I mean,
we need the offense.
I mean, what do you want to do? Put him in the minors? I mean, obviously, you might as well see if he can hit.
Right. But again, like DJ Stewart,
he's gonna
on
be
fire right now,
DJ
though.
Stewart. By the time he's ready, DJ Stewart
cold off. You think cool off
for 18?
Really?
Yes. Would not be surprised if he has the golden sombrero tonight.
Oh,
buddy.
dude.
We have a comment.
We do have one comment. It is from my mother. But 10-0, terrible.
She's right.
She's right. I mean, that is, again, like you start this West Coast trip off because we're playing the Giants in a 3-game set here. First 2 games against the Dodgers, you're thinking you're going for the sweep. But again, I kind of thought in the back of my head, I was like, you know what, Glasnow on Sunday, Glasnow is riled. He's angry about the pitching injuries. He wants to get out there and prove like something's going on. So 10 Ks, Alvarez injured, just didn't feel right. Hauser popped. Again, I mean, it's something I guess we knew, it's just like, it's only a matter of time. I feel like before we get those so many starters just not going 6 ever.
Yeah.
Not once this weekend, dude. No one went 6 innings.
But at least I think we have like the foresight, I guess, you could say, where we know even when it's like it's atrocious, it feels so terrible. But the constant reminder that it is a long season. No matter how much it seems like you shouldn't have games like that. I mean, if you're being realistic, they're gonna happen. Whether you're the Mets, the Yankees, the Astros, it just happens.
I mean, again, most people were saying the Mets win 1 game out of the series against the Dodgers. Because the Dodgers lost to the Nationals 2 out of 3, they bounced back, the 10 runs, whatever. Which they did, obviously, they still dropped 2 out of 3 against the Mets here. So, like you said, Dodgers maybe in a little bit of trouble. Mets, obviously, still on a roll here, but I think morale is a little low. I feel like tonight,
big game,
huge game.
Quintana, can he go 6?
Quintana has to go 6.
It's going to be a little chilly Bay Area night game, right?
Like get riled, and you need someone to step up offensively.
Is Conforto going to go deep though into McCovey Cove?
Probably, dude. Against Quintana, probably.
And just like the motivation.
Yeah. What does he have? 5 home runs in the season, I think
though. But I know
and he's batting well over 300.
Weekend, though, he had a tough stretch. I don't know if he did anything over the weekend.
I mean, I guess we could see right now, actually, Michael Conforto over the weekend.
But he's an interesting one. It seems at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of it doesn't look like he really did.
No, nothing crazy.
But there's a lot of wasted potential with him. It seems like it's like one of those scenarios where, sure, he'll probably string together maybe an okay season or 2, but he's never going to be what he should have been. No, never. Especially not for anybody else right now. It seemed like he could have been a 330 hitter hitting 30 home runs.
Literally. It looked like that.
You think it's the shoulder and it's just like he can't.
Must have been, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, because what was it? The COVID season, he was nuts. Right?
Yeah. Crazy good, dude.
So be interesting. But that being said, let's do an abbreviated baseball frenzy.
All right there, Brian. It's Monday. It's April 22nd, Brian. And I'm going to start the pick of the litter, dude.
That we will always support our teams first. But either way, honestly, if it was like a pick segment, especially me with this matchup with the A's, I mean, come on. I mean, we can mark it down in your notebook next 4 days, nights, whatever you want to say. Taking the New York Yankees, and you look at this one, JP Sears pitching for Oakland here. Obviously, I'm sure there's a little revenge on the mind there. But Carlos Rodon wasn't great last time out, I believe, against Toronto. But I think this is a huge bounce back spot, as it is for Stanton and Judge and Torres. I mean, this Oakland team, I know, like, compared to other starts they probably got off to the last couple of years, 8-14 for them isn't too bad. But Yankees are, World Series contender here. The A's are a garbage team. So this should be where we look at the box score tomorrow. and Rodon strikes out 12, maybe throws 6 scoreless. And Judge and Stanton should hit a home run here, and so should Gleyber, really, just because he hasn't hit one yet. If you're not going to hit one now, when are you going to hit one? So I think this gets ugly for Oakland here. I think Sears doesn't even make it through 4 1/3, and the Yankees win this game. I'm going to say 9-2.
Wow,
so the
dude.
Yankees and the over.
All right, Brian. You said it. We always support our hometown teams here.
For good
the
or bad.
Mets, dude. For good or bad. 9:45 p.m. You can
Win
book
sucks.
end.
The Mets have scored 10 runs tonight. They should.
Have to. No excuse, dude.
Shut out, especially.
Absolutely, win does suck. But obviously, Jose Quintana here on the mound, like we mentioned for the Mets. His last start, 5 innings pitched, 1 run against Pittsburgh. And I guess you could argue that's probably one of his better starts. Cincinnati 5 2/3, but has yet to go more 6 innings. Honestly, this season, need that out of him tonight in the worst way. And give me a dinger. I'm going to say it's going to be a home run explosion. I feel like we haven't had many games. We had multiple players with multiple home runs. So give me home runs for Alonso, for Bader, for Lindor, and for DJ Stewart, who remains hot. I say Mets move on to win this game. I'm going to say 5-2 Quintana, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, 5 Ks, maybe. Okay, bullpen clean out of Vino, Diaz, why not? And the Mets, like I said, go on to win this one 6-2. So 6-2. So Mets and the under, I'll say that next
Originally,
game.
I think you said 7-1, but
7-1?
Okay.
6-2, 7-1, same deal. Either way, it's
under.
under,
It
dude.
might have been 5-1, actually, now that I think about it.
Are you sure, really?
It was 5-2. I think it was
5-2?
5-2. We seem crazy now. Anyway,
Maybe.
we're kind of almost like the same thing with the Yankees here. Padres starting a series in Denver tonight. Rockies 5-17. Austin Gomber-Tony getting the start for Colorado. Dylan Cease has been great for the Padres since coming over for Chicago. But, 12-12, Mike Schilt. I mean, this is the series where they should score 10 runs every game and just knock the socks off of the Rockies here. So let's start tonight. I think they hit the over themselves. Padres 12-3 in Colorado.
Absolutely love that. Honestly, I think I'll take the Kansas City Royals tonight. Why not? They are hosting the Toronto Blue Jays. Kikuchi's due to get popped. Brady Singer has been lights out so far. 2-0, 1.54 ERA, Brian. Dalton Varsho heated up a little bit. 5 dingers in the season, but then cooled off right away. Same thing with Justin Turner, to be honest. Kind of cooling off, too. Give me Salvador Perez with a dinger, his 7th of the year. He's been on fire. 22 RBIs, batting .333 as well. The Royals just dropping 2 to Baltimore, I feel like due to absolutely Schlamika, a team like the Blue Jays. So give me the Royals. Over-under at 9.5, which I'm kind of surprised about. I say Royals win maybe 6-1. So Royals and the under. Kikuchi popped, maybe 5 innings. Singer, 7 1/3, 1 earned run. Killing it. Next game for you, Brian.
Next game, final game, as Sony would say. No, I had the ESPN scores, but you need to see
it's always tough,
pitching,
dude. Yes, of
the
course.
pitching matchups here. So I am gonna go with the Orioles. They're playing in Anaheim against the Angels here. Reed Detmers has been great for Anaheim, and they got Suarez pitching for the Orioles, who I believe has not pitched yet this year. 34-year-old journeyman. Doesn't matter though. I feel like they're so much better. Gunnar Henderson's been off to a great start, as well as Jordan Westberg. I picked up in 2 leagues. He's easily top 30 ranked overall. Unbelievable. So I think the Angels, they started out okay. Now they've lost a couple. This is where the free fall starts. Rendon back on the injured list. So ridiculous.
Dude, crazy. I think he's played less than 220 games since he's been there.
Yeah, he's a joke. But so are the Angels. So I think the Orioles win this game. I'm going to say 8-0, which I believe might be the under, Tony.
I would imagine 8.5 is the over-under, and it is 8.5.
All right, so Orioles in the under. And
yes,
that'll set up you for your third and final.
Third and final pick here. Very interesting. Phillies, Suarez, Hunter Green for the Reds. I guess I'll take the Braves or the Marlins here. 7:20 p.m. Another series where you could pick the Braves for the sweep, honestly. The Braves winning 4 of their last 5 games. I think they swept the Astros and took 2 out of 3. Yeah, they took 2 out of 3 from the Rangers. We know about the Marlins here and their 6-17 record.
Ozuna, 9 homers,
Absolutely
RBIs.
Ridiculous for him. Batting 338.
Probably. Because he was done.
Yes,
he was finished. He couldn't hit all of a sudden.
Oh my God, dude. Nonetheless,
Steroid
dude,
accusations.
Ryan Weathers on the mound for Miami. Solid start, but due to get popped, I feel. Braves win this one. Honestly, I'll say 10-0. Let's go. Braves in the over.
Right. And just like that, that is your baseball frenzy.
Almost at hockey there.
How'd you know? Also, your mother getting negative with the Mets already, huh?
I'm already looking forward to football.
Wow.
Mom.
I'm surprised, honestly, because you
Yeah,
big
me
picture,
too.
no? Like,
honestly, I guess so. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know.
just doesn't. No, I get it though. The general thing, there is no excuse for yesterday, but
Yeah.
we have to live with that. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It happens to the Braves. The Braves seem unbeatable. They're
Yeah.
gonna lose a game like that to like the A's,
Yeah.
probably.
No, literally, yeah. So it is. I mean, it is tough, and it does. I'm sure she's thinking about the Alvarez.
Yeah.
Probably more than 6 to 8 weeks. Honestly, you would imagine surgery on the thumb, dude, and then I don't know. I think it's his. I think it's his catching thumb too.
Yeah, that's brutal.
So tough, dude. So
what is Kev talking about? Oh, he's just talking about the sell because of the golf.
Kev Deuce is Josh Bees. Sell out.
The banter. It's like Bernie is kicking rocks as we speak. Anyhow, let's go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rink wide. Made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn. Side of the net. Between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pasternak. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
Right, all right. So the New York Rangers beginning their quest yesterday afternoon for their first Stanley Cup.
Let's
in
freaking go,
30
dude.
years, and they start off on the right foot. We heard that song not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times yesterday at the Garden as the Rangers take game 1, 4-1. So what they've been doing all season, taking care of business, stepping up when they need to. And like we've seen all season, this game started out as a defensive match here. No goals in the first period, but the second period, the Rangers outscoring the Capitals 3-1, making the difference in the game. And how about Matt Rempe? You know about him for all the fights and all the back and forth. He let out the scoring with his first goal. And there was some stat I saw. I forgot who the last person was, but it was like been a little bit, I think, since somebody in their playoff debut had scored or something like that. But that was obviously his first career playoff goal. And then he was followed by Panarin and Vesey. So to give the Rangers a 3-0 lead. Cruise from there. Sure, Martin Fehervary. I think that's how you say it anyway. Did have a goal, but I mean, this game was never in question. And Kreider had an awesome goal there in the third
breakaway
period.
goal.
Yeah, that was
so sick,
awesome,
dude.
The angle on that one too was kind of sick. So at the end of the day, it's a 4-1 victory. Igor, great, 20 of 21. I think they said home games during the playoffs, he has like a 970 save percentage. I mean, it really is ridiculous in how far Igor has come. Really since the Stadium Series, because that's when we're making the call to bench him. But I mean, he's unbelievable. This team is so dialed in. And sure, Panarin scored, and he's been the leading scorer all season. But I just love the fact, Tony, that it's different guys at any time. Matt Rempe and Jimmy Vesey scoring. I mean, it's like it doesn't matter who it is. This team is so focused, and the energy at Madison Square Garden, that was great.
I will say again, we know, I was watching this game at the bar at the golf course, and literally like the volume of the TV of the crowd at MSG was loud enough where we we're like, what? Like, this TV's so fucking loud. And it wasn't even that loud, dude.
Yeah.
It was just the crowd was that riled. And it was sick to see, dude. It really was. Because I honestly, I haven't seen MSG that rocking, like, honestly, in recent history.
Right.
Like, I really haven't,
Right.
dude, which is so sick. And again, you said that, to open up that first period, which was a defensive period, the team kind of feeling out the Capitals, seeing what they're going to be kind of like coming at the Rangers with. And of course, the Rangers are their own. A lot of these young guys haven't seen playoffs before. This team together with the lines they're on, obviously with this new coach, Laviolette, they've never seen the playoffs together as a team. And they totally did step up. That Rempe goal was so sick. I could not have thought of a better way to start off the scoring of the playoffs this year with that Rempe goal. He used his feet so well to get to the front of the net, using that body also to just, again, get to the front of the net, skating hard. That fourth line, VC finding him in front of the net, Rempe just absolutely firing one off. It was dope. And he spoke after the game too. Such a great guy. I forget where he's from. But obviously, like, his parents were in town, first time they were in the city, all this and all that. They went to whatever Italian restaurant they went to, having the family there, like, definitely amped him up, he said too, which was great to see. And then again, the scoring just started piling on. They scored 3 times in like 2 minutes. Right after that, the Panarin goal, also a great play by Vinny T and Lafreniere. Like, there's your second line. And then the fourth line again with Jimmy Vesey. I don't know. You talk about the riledness, the camaraderie of this team. Jimmy Vesey missing teeth out there, scoring goals, like,
Doesn't
absolutely
matter.
so
Tony.
sick, dude. And then you mentioned, that Kreider goal in the third, the outlet pass from Mika. That's what you want to see from your first line too. Absolutely dismantling a defense, finding a man open for a breakaway, and Kreider puts one in using his speed too. Again, I don't want to be like that guy, but obviously this is expected from the Rangers. It's Capitals, it's a wild card team. Rangers, the best team in the league. Out shooting the Capitals 31-21 there, killing them in the faceoff circle, out hitting them. Obviously would like to see, better opportunities there on the power play. I know they had the power play, I think, early on in the first period. Didn't really get many shots on goal there. You were 0 for 2 on the night with your power play. Again, I know you're not going to score on every power play, but you're one of the better power play units in the league. Opportunities like that aren't going to come around very often when you start playing better teams. Like, you move on, you play Boston, maybe you play Tampa Bay or whoever, Carolina. You got to take advantage of those power play opportunities. So yeah, I guess that's really, the only thing you could honestly kind of think of here. But a 4-1 game here, I think you really set the tone for the next game to come out, and hopefully, again, you come out making some adjustments, understanding what Washington's gonna be throwing out at you, and you just start scoring early and often this next game. So, but other than that, everything is great. Your defense is solid. You're 5-on-5. Again, people talked a lot about how the Rangers don't have great 5-on-5 hockey. You just scored 4 times 5-on-5 here. So that's great. Let's build on that.
Some comments here. Jason Pilla, Tony.
Oh, really, dude? Let's go. He says, me and Walsh going to the Yankee game right now. Let's go, he says.
I'll see you at the stadium.
Let's
Very good there.
Rodon
awesome.
Shove Day, he says.
You guys are going to have a great day. It's getting warmer. I think Tony's going to get his shorts on after we're done with the show here.
Honestly.
But yeah, you're going to be in for a treat. And Rodon is going to shove. Mm-hmm. And we do rock Mary. So
yes,
she is on the button with that one. Also, too, shout out Pooch, because he showed me this yesterday. And I don't know if you're interested in this, Tony. But you like Chipotle, right?
I love Chipotle.
I was told today, if you go to Chipotle with a hockey jersey, it's buy one, get one free.
Are you kidding me?
So maybe you and Michael, maybe like a tag team.
Dude, that'd be sick. Yeah, dude. I bet he would love that.
Maybe get 4. Each get a buy one, get one free.
I got plenty of jerseys.
Yeah, there you go. So
yeah,
dude. He did show me that in the app, so you might want to take advantage of that.
That is sick, dude. Also, I thought it was kind of cool. I know we'll probably recap the rest of the hockey games, but so far in the playoffs, 7-0
or 6-0. Is it 6-0? It's 6-0. 4 games yesterday, 2 games this Saturday.
Yeah.
I was literally going to say that.
Are 6-0, which is very interesting to think about. But then again, it's not that crazy because obviously all the better teams get home ice game 1. So really, we're just going chalk,
Yes, but
the better seeded teams, I will say.
Nothing surprised me other than the Avalanche, man. Is it over for Gorgie? Like, is he coming back as a backup next year to the Rangers? Like,
no, I don't think
practice,
so, dude.
Though, every time he's in net.
Is it every time he's in net?
I mean, yeah, I think he finished with an 8.97 save percentage this year.
Really? Georgiev. There we go.
I mean, really, I am shocked that they lost that game yesterday. Had a chance late,
Yeah.
But just could not stop the puck from going in the net.
Yeah, that is tough, dude. He has given up a lot of goals, I suppose. Goals against, even towards the end of the year.
And, and I did pick them in that series, and I thought they were going to get to the Cup final, and now I think they might lose in 5 games. Or you think it's like, but then they go back to Colorado. It's going to look a little different. You could see them going down 0-2, tying it up at 2, and then best of 3 to get to the second round.
Yeah, again, I can see that. Again, the Avs are a playoff team, no doubt. So they could definitely, like, again, turn it on. And Georgiev, yes, seems to be on a bit of a lull. Look at his numbers this season for this year. I mean,
good win percentage. That's about it.
No, yeah, I mean, he led the league as a goaltender in minutes, I guess, but also led the league in goals against with 183.
Batting practice.
It is kind of batting practice, dude. Led the league in wins at the same time, though. So I mean, it's very interesting to see. Like, maybe I can take a deeper dive into this, but I mean, is it Colorado's lack of defense? I don't think so. I mean, they picked up a defenseman too at the trade deadline. And obviously the offense has been great because he's getting those wins anyway. Led the league in wins back-to-back years. I don't know. That's tough, dude. I mean, you're looking at a guy who, 2 years ago was getting almost in the Vezina trophy conversation, I don't know, man. I would say that Georgiev starts to heat up.
You think they're definitely going to win game 2, which I'm guessing is tomorrow?
It is tomorrow, and I would say it's a guarantee.
Wow.
Guarantee it.
Wow.
Okay.
Willie Joe.
Talk about putting shekels on it, dude.
Shades of Willie Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of shekels, I was so confident Rangers there. I was talking to Riley about this, and he couldn't believe it. I was just like, whatever. Just did the whole. I think it was minus 275. Like 275 to 100. No problem. I mean, it
it's a lot.
Wasn't
dude.
even a concern.
Yeah. You should do that every game. It's gonna be a sweep. So let's go, dude. Just keep doubling down and doubling down.
But yeah, it seems like there's gonna be no problem there. Some of the other games were tight. Florida hung on 3-2, 4-2 Canucks over the Preds. And
the Canucks, I think they scored 3 goals in the third. They had a little bit of a comeback there, dude.
Yeah, better team though, obviously. It was a close game with the Islanders and the Hurricanes.
It was close, dude.
Chogri didn't love the performance, said that Frederick Anderson saved them, but hey, a win's a win, I told them, and I think they will be confident tonight. Bruins all over the Leafs. I had them, actually. It's funny because I picked the Maple Leafs to win the series before the game. I'm like, nah, Bruins win. Something about home ice, first round, better team.
TD Garden, obviously.
Pedigree for Toronto.
Yeah.
That was
they
probably a
suck
mistake
in the
on my
playoffs, dude. Yeah.
Wait, which bite do you think Josh is talking about?
I'm saving that bite. Oh, I don't know. What did you say?
I don't remember, dude. Hey, he'll tell us. He's Ralph. I'm sure. Though. He's Ralph, obviously. Ralph for frenzies. And there's 4 games tonight. So speaking of which, Tony, let's do the full-on hockey frenzy. Go, go, go!
All right, now let's go, baby. It's NHL playoffs. We know the deal. Monday, April 22nd, around the NHL. We're going to be starting in TD Garden. Yet again, Boston, Mass. The Bruins taking on the Maple Leafs here. We just talked about the dominant victory in Game 1 by the Bruins. Will home ice continue to win? Over under 5.5. Boston minus 140 here. And we're doing the full slate. So what do you got here?
We'll go, and we're going to say the Bruins 4-3 overtime. David Pastrnak, as we said in our intro video, the game winner in overtime. Bruins 4-3. Bruins in the over.
Absolutely love it, dude. I'm going to take Bruins and the under. I say Swayman shutout. Bruins win 3-0. Maple Leafs continue not to show up offensively or anywhere in the playoffs. Next game now in Raleigh. The Hurricanes taking on the Islanders at home. Minus 240 are the Hurricanes. And the over-under is 5.5, dude. Again, looking at that Game 1, Hurricanes 1-3-1. Empty netter at the end there. Islanders had a lot of chances to tie it up. What do you think is going to happen here tonight?
I think it's one of those things. I mean, Anderson, great performance last time out. I think he does it again. And I think the Isles actually get shut out, losing 3-0. So we can get Jeremy Schaap outside of UBS Arena on Thursday.
Wow, dude. I know I hate to go chalk in all these games, but how do you go with the Islanders, dude? I guess give me the Hurricanes. I'll say the over, though. I say there's a lot more scoring by both sides here. I say the Hurricanes win in a nail-biting overtime thriller, 4-3. And I guess Aho gets the OT winner. Why not, dude? Next game now, we're going to Dallas as the Stars taking on
the under, right?
Over.
Oh, sorry.
The Stars take on the Golden Knights, 7:30 p.m. now, ESPN. Dallas minus 140 here at home. Vegas plus 120. Talking about the bets, you may want to put some shekels there. Over under 5.5. Obviously here, this is game one, dude.
Under. Give me the Stars here. I'm going to say 3-1. I think this is going to be a 7-game series, but at home, I think the fans will be riled up here.
Do you have a score?
3-1.
Oh, 3-1. Okay,
yeah.
Wow. So the under. All right, dude. Again, just looking at this game, I know 7-game series, you would think it's just the way it's going right now. I guess give me Dallas. I think Dallas, and I think in a really tight game, I say Dallas wins 2-1. Give me Jason Robertson showing up for the first time in the playoffs, I feel like, in his entire career, because he didn't show up last year. He has 2 goals and leads the Stars to a 3-1 victory. So Stars and the under. Next game here. Final game. Brian's perhaps his game of the night as the Kings are taking on the Oilers in Edmonton. Edmonton minus 170 here on the money line. Over under 5.5 for this game. Oilers dropped 2 games leading up to the playoffs here. Game 1 now. What do you think, dude?
Yes, speaking of 5 Oilers, 5-2, no problem. Not worried about the Kings. Gonna sweep, Tony, so take it easy. Zach Hyman, though, 2 goals and an assist. Connor McDavid, 2 assists as well. Oilers keep on rolling.
I'm going to go against you, dude. I'm going to go with the Kings. I think game 1 at home, the upset. Kings plus 145. Take them, dude. Adrian Kemp, Trevor Moore, Kevin Fiala, dude. All with goals tonight. And I say Kings win this one. I'll say 4-1. Oilers, whoa, man. Where's the offense, dude?
And that is your hockey frenzy. And Josh B, he doesn't say what he was referring to, but he said, didn't last year most games were on the road? I feel like that was the topic. And I guess he's talking about the Rangers, but I mean, that's what he's talking about, right? Or no?
I don't know.
Oh,
didn't last year?
Or
maybe
or
just
no.
the games won in general. A lot of games were on the road.
The Rangers, I'm like thinking to myself, well, I mean, kind of a completely different team this year.
Yeah.
But I think that is what he's referring to.
Well, it's interesting that it's the opposite this year.
Yeah. But I mean, you get it just from an adrenaline standpoint. I mean, like the crowd, like these crowds. I mean, Madison Square Garden. I mean, that was insane.
I mean, again, Madison Square Garden, even TD Garden. Look at these fans. Even for the Panthers too. I mean, like these arenas have been so like the most hyped I've seen hockey arenas all season. I think people specifically are just like extra riled this year for the playoffs. Dude, they know the competitive nature here. And it really, I don't know, man.
I mean, it says Bernie kicking rocks is the bite.
Oh. And honestly, like I understand, for us as Rangers fans here, our perspective is Rangers at the Cup. But I mean, again, like in these playoff scenarios, I mean, if I'm a Bruins fan, I could think we have a chance. If I'm a Hurricanes fan, I think we have a chance. If I'm a Stars fan, I think we have a chance. Golden Knights fan, we have a chance. Oilers fan, we have a chance. I think so many fan bases think that they have a chance to make it to the Cup final that they're showing up to these games.
Yeah.
Extra, baby.
Yeah, let's go. So excited. And we do have to do a mention, and maybe, as time allows throughout the week, we'll
basketball.
Talk about basketball. But the Knicks, they did win on Saturday, and that was, that was on me there. I was thinking, the Sixers would come out and control the series, but now, I mean, after seeing the Garden the way it was, and
Embiid with the injury, like what's his deal, dude? That's so tough.
The Knicks, had a great performance. They're back in action tonight, Tony. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they go up 2-0 after tonight. I mean, I think they'll set the tone, and you look at this one, Josh Hart leading the way, a double-double. Crazy, he was barely playing at the beginning of the year.
It really is.
Has now become a integral part of the rotation. Also 22 points from Jalen Brunson. So they win that game, 7-point win here. And despite Brunson only going 8 of 26 from the floor, you would think that would bode well. And McBride, 21 points off the bench, 16 3-pointers, bombs away.
Kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. So let's see what, they can do tonight. You also have Magic Cavs tonight. Cleveland winning the first game over the weekend, and then Lakers were up big on the Nuggets and a losing game one. So wanting to even up the series before they head back.
We were watching that game too.
Domax Celtics blow out the Heat by 20 in game one. You had the Clippers. I mean, that was a surprise. They were up almost 30, ended up winning by 12. So they're up 1-0 on the Mavs. The Bucks blew out the Pacers without Giannis, which is kind of surprising. And then the Thunder, a 2-point win over the Pelicans. First game in Oklahoma City playoffs in 5 years. So obviously the crowd was riled, a whiteout. And the Thunder, you don't think about it because of how they haven't been in the playoffs, this and that, but they have a really good chance to win a title this year. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Tony, has been unbelievable. Chet Holmgren, Josh Giddey. It's a deep, deep team over there. What is it? Right. There's a 3 games tonight. Gotcha.
Yeah, 3 games tonight.
So it'll be an interesting story, and I'm sure as the the playoffs go on, we'll talk more about it. Did you catch any of the Knicks game or no?
Yes, actually.
With Michael?
With Michael.
What did you say?
At the Horseshoe.
Is he here, or did he probably?
No, I think he bounced to go get shower and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I mean, general manager, dude. He's definitely like, whatever.
Yeah.
It should be interesting to see again how the rest of the series goes, because again, we watched literally like. It's kind of funny because I was watching the Mets game as he was kind of watching the Knicks game, I guess, right? The Knicks game was Friday?
Saturday.
It was Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was still probably watching the Mets game anyway. But he like literally, I saw him like, he was like, whoa, like that. And I was on the Embiid. I don't know if you saw the play when he like tossed it to himself off the glass, dunked it, and that's when he got hurt. And you can just tell, dude, first of all, like, I don't know if you're watching that game, but like, literally the camera angle of Embiid was like an overhead shot of him on the ground like this, and his eyes are just like this, dude, while he's on the ground. And you're like, oh my God, dude. And he was just never the same when he came back in.
Yeah.
And just looked like he was just trying to be a big body in the paint, like wasn't really able to move that much.
Were you doing like a couple pops and then going to, hey, I mean, they look pretty good. Like, who knows? Like, were you trying to like get Michael riled or no?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's just so tough, dude. He's not. It's not gonna happen.
Basically,
that's what he thinks, and he's like almost again like he's hyped for the Knicks. Like he wants to see them win, but he knows like it's not. It's all gonna be for naught.
Interesting though to see if like that ends up happening. Like,
I know it does, dude.
When do you think for him, like, is it like NBA Finals, or you think even if they get to the conference finals, like he might somewhat get riled or no?
I feel like if they're in the conference finals, he'll be riled.
I mean, the chance to go to the NBA Finals, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Could fathom it, Tony, going into this year. But,
I mean, definitely the caller is calling into ESPN Radio riled this morning about the Knicks, dude.
Jacked,
it really is crazy.
I do think they'll win tonight, but we'll see.
Do you think Embiid plays?
I guess, but maybe has to leave with injury. Who knows? Right?
What's the deal? Why is he getting so injured all the time, dude?
Big guy, knees. I mean, it's common. A lot of impact, landings.
Right. But it just seems like he can't ever stay healthy. Like, never.
He missed his first 2 years of his career.
Yeah, foot.
Yeah. So it's tough.
Ugh.
Hopefully he can get healthy.
It really is sad, dude. Because he's like MVP caliber guy. It's kind of ridiculous.
But maybe, he's injured now. Maybe the Knicks could pick him up on the cheap, potentially.
Oh, you think so?
I mean, Michael would be right.
That would be kind of crazy, dude. Yeah. Tyrese Maxey looks pretty good.
Yeah. So interesting stuff. So excited for some more baseball today. Rangers tomorrow, Knicks tonight.
Set your lineups.
We will keep on rolling. By the way, also just on the way out, props to me, you, and Riley. Top
First,
3
second, third, dude.
of the old TCA Fantasy Baseball League. So we are jacked up about
Kev Du.
that. Kevin Du, where are you? But once again, great show. Really appreciate everybody who tuned in, continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Malco, Renee, and Jay, and costume the merch at downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees!
Let's go Mets!
And we will see you. Mania!
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.